Lisa, are you all set? Mm-hmm. All right, well, I will go ahead and call this meeting. Thank you, everybody, joining us. We usually start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have to sign your cell phone, please do that. We are live streaming to Facebook and YouTube, or just Facebook and
Facebook and YouTube.
Lisa, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Darcy Kaplan.
Here.
Jenny Sills.
Here.
Angela Brown.
Here.
Tara Shields. Jasper Lee Christopher. Keith Gosha. Ray Armstrong.
Here.
Is everybody here with Pulte
Yes.
or Evans Farms?
No.
Okay, I will read the adopt policy just for you.
That's okay.
Is that okay? Adopt policy of our township zoning commission is that each applicant or agenda item will be given 10 minutes for the discretion of the chairperson to make a formal presentation. Chair will allow questions from the commission members in order to provide timely and orderly discussion of business or consideration. Finally, the items will then be given up to 3 minutes at the discretion of chairperson to receiver to respond. Chairperson may limit competitive debate and all comments from the audience must be addressed to the chairperson. You've heard it, okay? Lisa, can you verify that the meeting was advertised?
Yes, on Facebook at, let's see, April 29th. Is that right? Okay, April 29th. And on the township website on April 24th.
We have minutes to approve from our last meeting on April 22nd. I'd like to accept the motion to approve those minutes. Would like to give us a copy of those two.
I'll make a motion to accept and skip the reading of the minutes from our last meeting.
I will second.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan?
Yes.
Ms. Brown? Yes. Ms. Sills?
Yes. So we have in front of us tonight a final approval of a preliminary development plan designated as BZC 16-001, filed by Evans Farms LLC, the Cinos Development LLC, PO Box 278, Lewis Center, Ohio, 13035, in Pulte Homes at 475 Metro Place South, Dublin, Ohio, 43017. This applicant has applied for final approval of a preliminary development plan, Arrowhead Evans Farm. This plan is for parcel number 418-34001056000, Hyatt Road, Lewis Center, Ohio, 43035, north of Hollenbach Road and east of Holland. All right, please present to me.
Good evening, Commissioner members. My name is Jim Hills with Pulte Homes. With me are Greg Shillog with Edge and Kevin Kirshner with Kinley Horn. We appreciate the opportunity to present this final development plan for Arrowhead and Evans Farm. We filed a preliminary development plan last year to meet the PRD standards, and actually what we filed is 7 fewer lots than the original plan. And it was unanimous, the trustees unanimously approved a minor amendment to the original plan on October 24th of 24, which brings us here today. With the plan itself and I have a brief presentation I'd like to just run through quickly. There were text revisions incorporating the approved amendments and text clarifications related to the front facade of the home, windows, door materials, and we added fiberglass to the door materials that was not in there we use fiberglass doors in all of our homes. And the last was the 0.46 vinyl, permitting vinyl. There were also three other stipulations that we typically see in Berlin Township related to cluster mailboxes, architectural diversity standard, and stormwater facilities. At least two of those we've dealt with in Nave Meadows in Berlin Bluffs.
Can you repeat the last, you said architectural, and then what was the second?
Stormwater facilities.
Stormwater, okay, thank you.
We have been working with the Delaware County engineer and Evans Farm on the turn lanes and roundabout, and I'll just go through this pretty quickly. Levi. So, as was mentioned, this is at the corner of Hyatt Road and Hollenbach, which is adjacent to Arrowhead Elementary. The primary entrance will be off of Hyatt Road with a secondary on Hollenbach, with connection to the existing neighborhood of the North Oldfield Estates. There is a multi-use path that runs through the site that will connect to the school. We're actually going to build the path on the school property, connecting it to the path that is on the school property. So it will run all the way through our community. The central open space area is about 1 acre. Can you flip forward to, there you go. So this is the central open space area. There's landscaping, a playground, and the mailbox, CBU mailbox, central location is there. One thing I wanted to point out about the CBU location is we do have off-street parking. There are 3 spaces, and this is something that has come up with Trustee O'Brien in discussions, making that handicap accessible, not just the CBU location, but getting from vehicle to the facility itself. That will be handicap accessible. This isn't something in the past that the Delaware County Engineer's Office has approved, but in working with them, we came up with a solution specific to this location. Can you back up one? So it's really hard to tell, but from the preliminary development plan to what you have now, the only thing that really has changed on the site plan itself is the shape and size of the ponds, because we got into additional engineering. So the pond sizes are now accurate based on the amount of stormwater that we generated specifically from the site. Good, forward. There you go. So what this is, our lot distribution. What you see here are the lots in purple. There are 13 lots, which are adjacent to Oldfield Estates. The zoning requirement was that those lots match the lot size of Oldfield Estates. So those are minimum 90-foot wide lots across there. The other mixture of lots, so the blue are 50-foot lots and the green are 57-foot lots. And they're split in about half. There's 54 50-foot lots and 53 57-foot lots. 57-foot lots are designed for 3-car garages, which is why there's a difference in the size. So this just gives you a bird's eye view of the community from, I don't know which direction, but you're looking at the entire community from there. Go ahead. This is the entrance off of Hyatt. Same thing, just to kind of give you a feel for what the entrances will look like to the community. And one more. This is an overhead view of that Central Park location within the community, and with the playground, with the CD location, and then the green open space provides a nice amenity to the site. So there are more detailed plans in the actual filing itself that you have in front of you. I just wanted to provide an overview of the homes. On the 50-foot lots, there are 4 examples here. These homes vary in size from 2,400 square feet to almost 3,000 square feet. What you have in your packet has already been approved by Evans Farm for the architectural standards. On the 90-foot lots, you scroll through the, so these are the homes that will be on the 90-foot lots. They range in size from 2,700 square feet to over 3,500 square feet. These are the same homes we're building in Maid Meadows and Berlin Bluffs, and Evans Farm has reviewed this architecture, and these have been approved as well with a couple of minor changes, but for the most part, they're all approved. All of these homes will have four-sided architecture as required by Evans Farm. The garage doors will have decorative hardware and windows, and all of the homes will have a stone or brick architectural element on them, and you can see that in the pictures provided. You can also see it in a variety of I think maybe there's one home in the packet that doesn't. All of the homes will have a natural stone or brick material on them that we build in this community. So we're looking at a 4-year build out, depending on market conditions, and 2 different phases. So with that, would be open to answer any questions you have.
I think my biggest concern, I'm trying to find which house it was too, that didn't have it on, I wasn't going to do it. Do you remember which house it was that didn't have any stone brick on it? It's a farmhouse elevation. Oh, it's right here. It's the Maple Valley. Is that elevation on other ones though, the farmhouse? Oh, Park, it's on Park Place as well. Okay, so you have one elevation that goes across a couple, yeah, American Farmhouse, the American Farmhouses. So will you have a limit of the number of those that can be built? I know that only every 3 houses, that you can do the same elevation, correct? Okay, so I guess for these are your ones that are, well, not all of them because it's this elevation for everything. But will you have a certain number that, like you can't be like 50% that elevation, right?
Right.
You're only going to allow so many of those elevation overall.
Well,
So the majority of it is stone or brick. Majority of the houses have stone or brick.
all of the houses will have a stone or brick element on them.
But the American Farmhouse doesn't.
It will have a brick or stone element on it.
You will,
Yes,
even, okay.
yes. I'm sorry that's in there. It was,
That's okay,
Mistake.
it's a standard elevation, that's why it's in here, so
Yeah,
I
right.
completely get it, but I just wanted to make sure that there weren't going to be.
no, I mean, for the record, we will have stone or brick on every home.
Including the farmhouse, okay, all right. I think I like the central location of the park, so the park is gonna be, I'm confused, is the park in phase 1 or phase 2?
Phase 1.
Okay, good. So I think what makes me a little bit concerned is I'm very familiar with Pulte, and a lot of these floor plans, I'm concerned about the amount of space that's gonna be to the sides of the homes, knowing the footprint of a lot of these. What is your minimum
6 feet.
amount? How many?
6 feet.
6 feet off of the,
I have, side yard setback for 50 and 57 foot lots is 6 feet, for 90 feet, 90 foot lots is 10 foot, that's what was approved.
yeah. And I know that there's not anything we can really do about that now because that was approved a long time ago. But that doesn't sit great with me. Again, I know that this was just approved so many years ago. I am happy, so on those green lots, are you forcing people to put 3-car garages on those green lots, or it's just that that's a potential?
That's what they're designed for, but it doesn't necessarily require that there be a
Okay,
3-car garage.
okay, all right. And those are my biggest questions. Like I said, I don't love how little of the yard there will be on the majority of the houses in reality. I don't think I really have anything other than that. That was it for me.
So with the vinyl, I understand that you're verbally saying that there will be a stone feature on each house, but that's not in the text anywhere, so I guess that just, every developer that's come in here lately has wanted to change the vinyl requirement to the 0.46 or whatever it is, and it just seems like we're like sliding down a slope to just where we're just allowing vinyl, and if you're gonna have a stone element, I would like that to be in the text. Because in the picture, it's not, I understand you're saying that even though that picture, it doesn't appear, it makes it look like it's all vinyl, but there is a stone element. That's not in your, it doesn't say that anywhere. So I would like it to be added to the text, that there will be a stone element in every home.
We'll connect to that.
Okay.
Can it just be a stipulation of meeting minutes?
Yeah, you could make it a condition of your approval.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, somewhere in writing.
Yep.
I have to say, I don't love the name. I don't know if it's even possible to change at this point, but like Arrowhead at Evans Farm, right next to Arrowhead School, like if I was telling somebody to meet me at Arrowhead, like I would be confused at where we were meeting, just because it's right next to each other, just as a logistical kind of issue, but I mean, I guess neither here nor there. And then, is there gonna be room for any side load garages, or are these all gonna be front?
There's enough room on the larger lots for a side load garage if someone wanted. There's not room for a side load garage on the smaller lots.
But you're not making any commitment to a certain number, like you're not dedicating numbers to.
No, we typically, that's a customer decision, whether or not they would want a side load or not.
Sometimes I didn't know if that was anything that was previously agreed to when we had the initial.
The original had the garages in the back with an attic.
yeah, so it's very different,
Okay.
yeah.
A big evolution, so no, that was not part of the improvement.
And usually we like to see something, but, and then I know that you've made a commitment with the school that you're going to put the path on their property then? So where is that gonna go, you know?
I kind of like see it.
Is it,
Yeah,
It's not, keep going. One more. So here's, the path goes through here.
right,
We'll bring it through and connect it here, or wherever the school wants us to connect it.
Okay.
Where there's the best opportunity to connect it. But we've had discussions with the school district about that. They're okay with us doing it. We just need to get on site and locate the best place. It doesn't make any sense for us to not have the path go all the way to the school.
right, okay, gotcha. Alright.
So since we're on that side, sidewalks are on both sides of the streets, on all the streets?
Yes.
Okay. And will there be any parking available on those streets? Cost for on-street parking?
Yes, there's on-street parking is allowed, will be permitted opposite the fire hydrants on one side of the street only.
And are there any multi-use paths or anything in this development?
Just the path that runs from west to east through the site. There's, the thing that's attractive about this site to us is there's access to all of the paths within Evans Farm that will be built up and down Pyatt Road. So, our future residents in this community will have access to all of the amenities of Evans Farm.
But am I understanding the, main multi-use path is on the other side of Highway? Okay. Is there any plan for how that would be made into a safe way to access that?
Yeah, I think we need to have further discussions with Evans Farm and the county, about how to do that, because certainly it's something, we want to make sure it's safe. You're going to have a roundabout go in at the corner, but that really isn't a place for our residents to cross. So, off of that Pyatt Road, our Pyatt Road, or both of them actually finding a way to make sure to get across the road to the path is important. And we've had some preliminary discussions about that, but haven't finalized it.
We have the same thing down on High Road south, and we're working with them on getting over to the 10-foot bike trail listen. Safety.
All the walkability is so attractive.
I know.
And
We
it's
fought,
like this and like how?
I know, we fought hard just to keep the speed limit down to 35.
Right.
We wanted it at 25.
Good luck. I know vinyl was not part of the original Evans Farm agreement. The percentage permitted in 2016 was 0. And we've certainly shifted a long way from that. I understand technology has changed and it's a much better product. But my question is, I understand the commitment for elements of stone and brick features on each home. That's wonderful. But is it your plan to put the back and sides completely vinyl?
Yes.
And any clue about what a percentage would be or anything like that?
On
On home, I mean, 80%, 70% vinyl or,
Well, I think with the stone features that would be included, it could vary from, and typically when we're talking about that, it's just more the front of the home, that percentage than the entire house. So,
well, it is our hope and dream that this vinyl is a quality product and you guys as builders are satisfied with it. We're hoping we don't regret it. So just-
well, I can tell you 0.046 vinyl is a quality product. And will hold up very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, you were there in 2016.
Well,
It was 0%. So
Right,
this
and
is,
we spent a lot of time with the family as well as 11 years to come by from the affordability side. And really came in from Montana, and we went to multiple homes that throughout Berlin that had 0.46 vinyl that you approved. And it's all about application and making sure it's put on right. But it's actually, we're looking at it hard because it's actually better and doesn't look as wavy put on right as the 16-foot hardy planks and those type of things.
so I like that you're willing to commit to some elements of stone and brick. But once again, I mean, like casting aspersions, but if you put one stone, you've met that commitment. So that's why I guess I'm saying percentage. I know that's a lot to ask. I'm just
Well-
sort of, can you spitball that at all?
It can go from anywhere from 11% to 50%. If you're including the water table, that adds more.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, like, just because you add more doesn't make the house look better.
Not necessarily, right?
Yeah, so we're not, and we're going to do it to make sure the house looks nice. The options we provide to homeowners in terms of the stone options they'll get to choose from are something that we make sure the house looks good, because
Right.
that's
Well,
not
the
what we
elevations are
want.
very pretty. I mean, I like those.
Thank you.
So I just want to make sure that's what.
We still have the same requirements for the hedge and the fence and grow across them. Right, and I'm looking behind the sidewalk, so it will definitely look different and it'll be part of that as well.
Foundations, I might have missed language about what the foundation piece would look like at that's at ground level up to where siding starts. Is that called out in there?
I think what the text allows, there were changes to the text that allowed it to be painted. But I'll stand here today and tell you that we will match the stone on the foundation around the house.
So it won't just be
It'll be,
concrete.
No,
no,
we It's either painted or stone wrapped.
Thank you.
I like the way the CDU sort of has a little bit of it. That's a bugaboo of mine for, I don't know why, that it's pouring down rain or snowing and you're standing there and you sleep. And I also feel for the proposed community who has to feel wet when it realizes it's doing the rain. So I appreciate that, just to say that. It is called out that the headers on the outlets in the pond will be stone-faced too. So thank you, because it's not always happened, as I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, and sorry, I didn't provide more detail on those stipulations, because we had the same thing at Maven and Berlin Bluffs.
Don't think I had any more questions. Right?
I have a couple. I would like to see, first of all, since we have some, with your presentation, we have a difference in the water versus what's shown on the, on this guy is, and you said you've got more accurate figures and so on with that. What I would like to see is some kind of a thing, since we've got several drawings and they're not in agreement there, that I would like to see something for the record when this is done, so we know what it is, and it's not something reflecting in the archives that comes up later in time.
What, Kevin, what you have in here is, will reflect what will be constructed.
Okay,
This is what we're hearing this evening, the final development plan.
right,
So these are correct.
these are correct.
And I think what Jim is referencing is the size maybe a little different than the preliminary development plan, which occurred at the end of last year.
Then my next question is, since it also referenced some left turn lanes, I'm assuming that's at, like for Wyatt comes in and at this street, I wrote it down, but whatever it is. The writing was terrible last night. Is that the meter? And
Yes.
where's the left turn lanes in here? On the southbound,
So the plan is there will be a four-way intersection on Hyatt Road. So we're looking at the main entrance on Hyatt Road, phase one. The long-term plan of the county engineer is to have a four-way intersection. So whenever that development across the street, the west side of Hyatt Road comes back before you, we'll have that as a four-way intersection. And the traffic study requires opposing left-hand turns, so northbound and southbound left-hand turn lane into each of the developments in the east and west of Hyatt.
okay. Now, when they do that and widen it for the left turn, is that going to change the distance down to the water in the pond? I'm concerned about the safety issue of that is what I'm getting at. We've got several. There is one on Hyatt Road that was slipped in that way that became kind of a dangerous intersection, let's say. Because
So-
it met the county standard for the distance from the road and stuff, but it was not done with the left turn lane, which was filed immediately afterwards, which shrank that distance, so it did not, so since it no longer met the safety requirements of the county, and I want to see that that doesn't happen here.
I believe your text, the township requires a distance off of the right of way to the water's edge. And that's how we've set that up off of the future right of way. So the ponds are designed off the future right of way and the turn lanes will fit in the right of way. So we are compliant.
Because we've got one down here that it didn't. And that was, I don't want to see a repeat of that.
So what you're saying is when the road widens, that shortens that.
It does, if, well,
Makes
it
sense.
did on that one down here.
If you don't plan for it.
If you don't plan for it, or if you actually plan for it to not, which is what happened on that.
Yeah.
That's a old history, but I don't want to see it going again.
So can I get your name and address, please? for the
I'm
record?
sorry, Kevin Kirschner, 7965 High Street, Columbus.
And you're with what firm?
Can we on?
Okay. Next question I've got is, on public streets, we've got street trees. Looks nice, created a real problem for the townships a few years ago, okay? Got to hooving up the sidewalks and so on. And turns out, of course, that they happen to be within the right of way, so it became the township's responsibility to fix the sidewalks and remove all of the trees. So I'd like to know, first of all, where are the sidewalks? Are they they're in the right of way. And we're putting street trees there instead of in the front yards. I think it's cool with that.
Well, here's how we handle it. Throughout Evans Farm, the Master Association, which this, all of Evans Farm is part of, they maintain, the Master Association maintains, and we did this with Orange Township, trustee can verify that, maintains the street trees in the right of way and commits to that.
And what about the sidewalks?
Same thing with the sidewalks.
They maintain it?
Yeah,
I would like, I will,
we can put that.
I'm okay with that if you put it in writing.
Yeah, absolutely. We can add that tonight. Because that's how we did it.
Okay.
Orange Township.
Otherwise,
I appreciate it.
that cost a fortune for Orange Township and Berlin Township, and just about ruined the finances. So, sorry, that's something we have to protect.
I learned something new.
So, that's really the only thing that I had. You've answered it, Dan. How are we gonna say that in the thing?
The Master Association is in charge of making sure that the street trees and sidewalks within the right of way are a responsibility of the homeowner / Master Association, and that the township's not responsible for. We have to limit them up to 14 feet when they start to get too big because of school buses coming by. We've gone through all that in our planning stuff.
I'd like to ask our attorney that's present, is that satisfactory to alleviate the financial responsibility from the township for that?
Yes, so that, in my opinion, that combined with, I assume it's in your deed restrictions to some extent as well. So between that commitment, the history and the precedent set for this community, well established over decades, and the commitment here tonight, yes, I think we've done it all the eyes and crossed all the T's.
All right.
So what I have for that is Master Association is responsible for maintenance and repair / replacement of trees and sidewalks in the right of way.
Yeah, that's right.
Any other commission comments or questions? We have one audience member. If you have comments, we'd like to have your name and address, please, and go ahead.
My name is Everett Barnes. I'm an adjacent property owner on Wine Street. I'm actually next to lot 22, I think it is, yeah. Just east of 22. So I'm assuming that because the vegetation is drawn in on the north perimeter line and the east perimeter line, that vegetation is going to stay as best that they can do that, or?
Yes, we will do everything we can to make sure we protect the vegetation that's there. The only thing is, and Kevin could address this, is making sure that we have adequate drainage off the back of the lots.
One of the early drawings that we saw of the Evans Farm when they were showing the whole complete Evans Farm, they talked about a walking path between 22 and my lot, down to the school. I didn't know if that was still if you guys had that in there, because it doesn't look like it is. But like I said, it was probably a couple, 3 years ago that one of the early drawings of this area showed a walking path in there. I didn't know if that was true. Or is that lot 22 going to bump right up against my lot?
It will bump up to the property line. There is a path from your neighborhood to, down to the school, isn't there? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we'll connect the sidewalks, but there's no additional path.
Right, it wasn't I don't think it was an actual sidewalk. I think it was just a grass walking path for the kids that are north. I think right now they come around Silver Hill and then they walk down to the path across from Oldfield Estates on park that they have, right? Just was asking, because we'd seen that on an early drawing. Didn't know if it stayed.
Apparently it didn't.
Yeah.
Be thankful we got the
But I
vegetation.
been worried about the trees along there too, because we've been trying to keep the trees up just so that they would hopefully stay. So at least it's showing that vegetation's there, so that's nice.
If there are drainage problems, could it be addressed as far as separation between the lots? Plantings or something?
Yeah, I mean, we're willing to work with you. If it's on our site, we can provide drainage, we will.
The nature trees that are on that border, the trees split. I mean, the fence line runs right through the middle of the tree. In fact, some places you can see the fence in the middle of the tree.
In the middle of the tree, yeah.
And we tried to keep all of that there so that at least you could see that there was a fence line there.
I would like to ask one other question.
Wait, sir, can I get your exact street
I'm
address?
sorry?
Can I get your exact street address, please? Wyatt?
2439 Wayne, Wayne.
Wyatt?
This is coming up on a couple of other neighborhoods. Between 17 and 18, which is going to be the connector path to school, looks like you've got vegetation. Is that how you're going to separate it? I'm concerned about what's going to be with the homeowners between 17 and 18. You're going to have pass-through of people, kids, et cetera, and trying to keep them on the straight and narrow path instead of in everybody's yard, because you know how that works.
Yeah, it is designed to have vegetation for those homeowners on the lot line, on each side of the path.
Okay, all right. And that'll be maintained, right, Dan?
I mean, yes.
That'll be part of the HOA.
That's all I have.
Any other comment?
No.
So, I'm assuming our applicant would like to ask vote this evening. So we'd like to put into formal writing our conditions.
So what I have right now is, for the conditions is number 1, include at least one stone or brick element on every home. Number 2 is that the master association or other planned community association, not the township, shall be responsible for maintenance, repair, and replacement of trees and sidewalks in the right of way.
We had
I
something about
have
the,
one more, Angela.
Yeah.
That you had, and that is, they made a commitment that they're gonna do either paint or stone on all 4 sides of the foundation. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's part of our design guidelines.
Well, gotta put it in here too. Paperwork.
Amen.
Paperwork. Can I? Absolutely.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with that. Just could you read back what you wrote? Because
Yeah, hold on, before I forget what I'm.
everybody's looking at you.
I'm sure.
We're gonna make her make the motion.
I'm glad Angela's here, usually we're right back.
Jen, we're doing that. Any other thoughts from you? Or does that sound good?
I was good with those, assuming the applicants do that.
Okay, so number 3 says that the builder continue design guidelines of Evans Farms to ensure all exterior foundation be painted or have a stone facade applied.
Okay, we committed to stone, not, you can remove the paint. And we committed to stone all the way around.
Oh, we'll take it. We'll take it.
So,
Do the other two separated.
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted, because that's what we talked about. We weren't talking about paint. Yeah, that's part of the design guidelines, but that wasn't what our discussion was.
Okay, that looks much better.
For your stone element.
At least break it up a little.
Angela, do you want to do the motions?
Sure. I motion to, wait, isn't the number longer than that? Is that really the number? Is it really just BZC 16-001?
That is it.
Oh my gosh, it's so short.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens when you're that?
Application for final
Yeah.
development plan.
Yep, okay. So I motion to approve BZC 16-001, subject, for approval of the final development plan, subject to the conditions of the development text reflect the applicant's commitments to: 1, include at least 1 stone or brick element on every home. 2, that the master association or other planned community association, not the township, shall be responsible for maintenance, repair, and replacement of trees, sidewalks in the right of way. And number 3, that the builder continue design guidelines of Evans Farms to ensure all the exterior foundation have a stone facade applied.
Is that the end of your motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
Ms. Brown?
Yes, approved.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan?
Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
so you need the seconds.
Yeah, we need to, how do you spell facade? Hold on, how do you spell facade?
FACAD.
Oh yeah, I put a U in it.
That's it.
I'm like, this is not right.
The first part was really nice, and then the last part was like.
Oh, that's Jennifer's writing.
I have it, yes. I can email it to you if you give me your email.
Okay,
But it is on the site, right?
The packet's on the site, the presentation's not.
Oh, that's true. Is there a reason why we don't put the presentation on?
Because I got the presentation PowerPoint today. So it was
Oh,
just
no, but I mean, I've never looked at them. Are they actually?
the
on
packet,
there?
this whole packet's on there, which has.
Yeah, I'll take this. Again, that's not part of the record,
Yeah.
that's the presentation.
Oh,
yeah.
No, the art,
Well, I did want to see
why did I think I saw
whatever
something?
the packet was online, just to see.
Yeah, they don't have all
There
the
was
stuff.
there was some writing up in that corner, and I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Oh, I saw them in here.
Because they pieced the TV.
Darcy, did I get that stipulation sheet, condition sheet, real quick?
And have that.
Trust me with it, Lisa. All right, so that concludes our application. We have further discussion about our amendments to the Berkeley Township zoning resolution. Yeah, so,
I have done some updates,
okay.
but I was doing some research to find some things out of it that a little longer than expected. So I will be getting it to you between, hopefully, in the next week, so you have some time to look at it before next meeting.
You guys researching, we don't have Tara, we kind of set a goal to try to do this in June. So if anybody has thoughts about landscaping, you want to help put into format one time.
And it can go multiple nights.
Right.
If it has to, we can table and continue once we start the process.
I think one of the, because it's something that you brought up that we talk about in every single one of the designs and in all of these meetings is when there is a pathway, making sure that we do have the lots protected that it goes between. So I would like that to actually.
That's a good point, and I think tonight I reiterated to me, like, maybe we can get that street trees in the front yard thing.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
And I do understand it's like part of Evans Farms, to do it
Yeah.
that way, right? So I do it's kind of like how we were all alley garages
But it's
and now
great
we're not.
if there's a master association.
Exactly.
Take
Yes.
ownership of
But when there's
Not
not,
many other ones would.
no, I mean, I
absolutely
would
not.
hate to see that association fee.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that association fee is.
Plus, they probably only allow trees that are like special trees that don't.
Yes,
damage, yeah.
non-invasive, yes,
Or the
but,
cheap ones.
If you go back and look in the trustees' record, there were resolutions passed somewhere around 2010 or 11, somewhere in there, that did away with street trees. Yeah, for the purpose of that, because that's when we got hit with the bills for the marina down here, and another subdivision. And since it passed resolutions that there should be no street trees because we won't be responsible for them. So, and that's the only way that the assistant prosecutor said we could do with the thing in order.
So are homeowners prohibited though, if they plant a tree in the right of way, can they do that?
No, the developers put them right on the other side and then they tear up the sidewalks from the other side.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, as a homeowner,
So a homeowner could plant it right on the backside of the sidewalk because that's where the property line is, and there we have no control.
Right.
that's what I thought.
You can only do so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
We
trying to,
could put a prohibition, but okay, I don't want to go there. All right. Any other news?
Nope, just working daily to clear the table off in there, a lot of stuff on it.
They rearranged the furniture in there?
Yeah,
yes, it looks good.
getting a lot done.
I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yep.
Not to put you on the spot. What is going on the pickup property on 36? They've got this huge machinery up there that appears to be grinding rocks and kind of.
Is that kind of catty corner, not the VA, but
It's right across, it's on the east side of the street at the VA.
the ambulance.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
I just wonder because they're running a business out there or what?
That's been like that for a long time.
I don't know if that's him or if that's, ODOT has a contract to put stuff there or who it is. Like, I'll have to look
I don't know because it's like, it's going full tilt now.
into it. Yeah, I saw that they had some machine.
So,
Me and Jerry have been doing some research.
If it's FR1 right now, they shouldn't be doing too much. I think.
No. Jerry and I have been doing some work on signs and signage and making sure the signs that are out there are permitted, if they're required to be permitted. And if they're not required to be permitted, they're not in the right of way. And that's kind of, especially up at 37 and 71, in our little stretch there, that's all quite bad.
All that? Okay. Any other business that we have?
To me, and I know that the side that they've started right now, it's kind of it's more of an ODOT question, but I just wanted to see what you know about it so far. They are clearly starting a portion is starting at least from 3Bs and K over to 71. I mean, they've done all of the trees and everything. I don't know what they were doing there today, but there were trucks that were moving dirt. But do we know what
I just know that they have a construction entrance there now, where the flags are at.
yeah. Well, that's what's strange is that the flags are not where the road is going.
No, they usually put the construction entrance off to the side a little bit, but
It's just on the other side of the house, that's what's so strange about it.
I don't know if Ray's heard anything, he has pretty close contact with the daughter.
We
His proximity.
Yeah. We talked with the project manager, we being my wife and I, this past week, and they are getting ready to start on that with the overpass first.
Okay.
Final engineering on the part that will go through our township is not done. It will probably be another year before they announce that piece of it that is in Berlin Township.
Which direction does it go first? East?
They're gonna start with the interchange, which is why they made the giant dirt mound there at 71. And it will go from there towards the west.
Towards the west.
From-
It'll go to the west to
So
join.
it'll come over to Rudy's and Kingsbury.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That was turned around because they never had originally, they were supposed to have developers and investors do the piece from there over to Route 3,
Yes.
part of Sunbury Parkway. Now they've redesignated the entire thing as Sunbury Parkway. But they are going to do the western portion first, and it's actually, at least I was told by the developer that had the most skin in the game, so to speak, that he was given $65 million credit for the project that is the apartments
Yeah.
just across the street from where I live,
Yeah.
and that finished the funding for the piece of it from 71 to Powell Creek. At least that's what I was told.
Okay.
So now that came from the developer, the figure and stuff.
Why do they give them credit for that? I don't understand.
Oh, there's everything from the, there's TIF money involved, there's CRA money involved, there's JED, there's all kinds of stuff involved. And now the other thing was that the developer, forgetting that, the road goes through the project between phase 1 and and there's phase 2 and 3 that will be on the east side of that. And they gave the right of way for the road, they gave it to State of ODOT. And that's the other portion of how they got the credit for it. But that provided the funds so that they're gonna do this, the west end of it first.
The construction manager for the whole project reached out to me last week, looking for a place to put their construction trailers and store some equipment, asking if I had any ideas, because there's a lot of moving parts for it, and there's not a lot of larger open spaces there. In proximity. So,
And the project manager, he's moving on to a different project, and the previous project manager is coming back to this one. So it'll be Steve Fowler.
That's a lot. Wow.
and they did say that they'll be, one of the first things that'll affect the Africa Road 3637 intersection will be, they will be cutting that left-hand turn off, and they will be putting barriers
So
down
that
the
you
center, so you can't go left.
Wait, you can go left from where?
Africa onto 37.
So how are you supposed to go then?
So is it gonna be like they do at Old State where you have to do the turnaround?
Yeah, you'll have to go to Old State, you'll have to, I think 3Bs and the K will probably be cut off, you'll have to go, clear up the North Galena Road.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Wow.
Originally, they told us they were going to put in a J
I'm
turn.
just like, I'm just thinking, how are you gonna go?
The last time we talked to them,
We come across
That's
Elm
right.
they didn't
You're
commit.
just-
Yeah, we come across Elm Creek. Okay,
That's crazy. So I'm like,
interesting, sorry.
kind of gonna cut our attention. There's no more business. We do have our next meeting on Wednesday, the 28th.
Yes, because of Memorial Day.
On Tuesday to Wednesday. So, I think the last 3 meetings, somebody had shown up here on Tuesday. So,
You guys have the package for that meeting?
Yep, that's
The
the.
Seven Hills,
Yes.
Seven Hills in Berlin. We've seen that before, that sounds really.
Yes. Is that the one that is backing up to the, not the
Railroad
Bronx, but
tracks
the?
and, yes, the Indian temple.
Yes, oh, okay. See, I am starting to remember all the Berlin. Look at that. I mean, okay. Yeah.
So,
And they're all Berlin.
they all are for I will adjourn the meeting unless there are objections. Anything else to say, Jen? Thank you for joining us. It's
Yes,
really
thank you.
reassuring to have your presence here. I appreciate it. Okay, well, meeting is adjourned.
Get to Berlin, Tower Creek.
I had not looked at the,
There are 0 bills.
I don't know what to call it. The Indian,
So, Hindu temple.
Hindu temple, okay, the temple.
I thought it was more.